This is a short clip to give you a metaphor for a health coaching approach. I don't know about you, but I find stories a little bit more memorable than models. We will be using models in our coaching courses to break things down and make them more memorable for you. But I think this is quite a nice way of giving a background, overarching story you can keep in your mind when you're thinking about health coaching. So to give you a little bit of context and to just show you where we're starting, this is going to be about describing a journey from your current departure island here, making your way across to a destination island over here, across a beautiful blue sea and some paradise island archipelago. So let's introduce the star of our story, Mia. She is on our current island, and what she started to notice is things that are about our current island that annoy her and are starting to get her down a bit. She's noticed there's lots of traffic with fumes everywhere. There's piles of paperwork in her life. And not only that, there's litter everywhere. Rather than going in the bins, it's scattering all over her island. And she just doesn't have enough time to do all the things she wants to do. Her attention is drawn across the sea to this island you can see off in the distance. She notices things there she finds much more appealing. It looks like there's time to relax with hammocks. It looks like there are bicycles on the beach rather than cars, and books to read, something she really enjoys. And of course, there's Wi-Fi there as well, so she can stay in touch with her friends, an essential for Maya. Wouldn't necessarily be for everybody, but it is for Maya. So Maya's mind is made up. She's going to make the journey from where she is now to this much more appealing island you can see in the future. But how will she make the journey? She reviews her strengths. She knows she's a good swimmer. She's quite enjoyed paddleboarding in the past, and she can canoe as well. So she thinks about her strengths, and she also gathers intelligence about the conditions, so she can understand what might prevent her from making the trip. And what people around tell her is that there's a few of these in the water, so perhaps the swimming is a little bit less appealing. And actually the weather forecast is not looking great. The seas are going to be rough, so maybe some of her initial options may not be quite the way to go. So having taken this information into account, she comes up with some ideas about her best way to make the journey. Maybe she could take a sailing boat. Maybe she could catch a plane. Or even maybe she could take a helicopter. She thinks that could be fun. She's never been in one of those before. But in the end, weighing up her preferences, she decides the choice of the sailing boat is probably the best idea for her. It's all very well thinking the sailing boat's the most appealing idea, but as lastly, she needs to understand some details. To make this really happen, she needs to know what time she can collect the boat. Where does it go from? Does she need a captain or a crew? Can she sail it herself? What gear will she need for the journey? In short, she needs a really specific and detailed plan to make this much more likely to happen. So let's go back and just review some of the coaching principles that come out of what we've done there. So the departure island, the island that we want to take Mia from, coaching is all about raising awareness of reasons for change. If Maya's really comfortable on the island where she is, if there's nothing there, if there's no reason to leave, she's very unlikely to make the journey. And it's very much the same with coaching and in quality improvement. The whole team, the individual involved, needs to be involved in understanding what are the reasons for change. What's the motivation for leaving the island? So then we turn our attention to the destination island. And the coaching principles here are very much, again, about raising awareness, but it's now about what could be better, what matters most to the person or the team that you're dealing with. And both these two raising awareness skill sets are definitely difficult to do. As a good coach, whether it's with a team or an individual, you need to make people feel safe enough to be able to reveal what really matters to them. Not just the superficial stuff they might reveal initially, but what actually gets right underneath to the feelings and the heart of the matter for them or the team. And if a coach has done their job well enough, what we do with this process is we set up what we call a cognitive dissonance, which is some degree of unease in the person or the team's mind about this contrast between what's going on now that isn't really suiting them and what could be a lot better in the future in this destination island. And it really gives them this strong, compelling reason to make the journey across the water. And with this compelling reason in mind, you then get to the point of getting people to decide what's going to work best for them. And coaching is all about helping people to connect with the ideas that work for them. So it's not about giving them ideas or telling them what to do. It's about helping them find all the information they need, stuff that you might have, perhaps as a healthcare professional. It's what makes health coaching rather than just coaching. You've got stuff to input, like the sharks or the condition of the sea in the story. But then you're helping people to choose what suits them best. It's really what we call shared decision making, and it's the key to people having ownership of this journey. So this last stage of a really good health coaching approach is where you make a specific plan. This is where you turn their idea into a reality by putting some fine detail around it. The finer the better, so it becomes a really tangible, relevant way for them to work forward with their idea. So it's your action planning and creating a SMART goal: specific, manageable, attainable, realistic and timely. And you might want to think about the follow-up and support as well. So that's the whole approach, and it's worth just saying at this stage that often we're time restricted, and the skill of tailored health coaching that we promote is being good at understanding which bit of the journey the person most needs at that time. So you may find people who are really motivated, have got lots of ideas, and what they need from a coach is just this planning stage to turn a loose idea into a reality with more detail. However, some of the people who are much earlier in their journey may have no idea what they want, may not even understand what a destination island looks like, and they'll need a different sort of support, perhaps exploring why it's worth getting off the island or even thinking about a journey in the first place. So our tailored health coaching is all around being smart about where you put your time, because we all know that time's limited for all of us. You'll probably not be surprised to hear me say that this narrative overlaps really strongly with the model that we use in our training, where you can think of exploring the departure island in terms of what are the signs of needing change and what are you hearing with the tell, and thinking of the destination island as the outcome and all the skills we teach around that. When you're weighing up your strengths and what might get in the way, it's part of the prevent part of our stop it model. And then, of course, you're helping people to generate their own ideas and coming up with a timely plan at the end. So there's a really strong cohesion between this narrative and other models that we use.